At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashy Business Show. Today is Tuesday, 18th of February 2025. My name is Abdul Majid Aman and I have with me my beautiful co-host
Anika Ellis Baby.
How are you, Anika?
I'm good. I'm very happy to be back. I'm back after a long leave.
Yeah. And we directly brought you on the Smashy Show. We're like,
yes.
This is the kickstart that you need.
Exactly. Just jumping right into action.
Come back into the work mode, right? It's difficult, right?
Yeah, nothing like a business show to put you into work.
And it's like your brain stops working when you're on holiday. But
yeah, actually, very surprisingly, I was trying to log in and I forgot I forgot my password to my email, the password of my computer itself. But thankfully, I figured it out.
I think that shows that you actually enjoyed the holiday.
Yeah.
Because you forgot literally everything.
But you know, it's like my absolute best feeling is I feel like most of my best work comes in the 2 weeks after I come back from a break. Because I feel like I'm so fresh. I have a lot of ideas to share. I have a lot of energy to put into my work, which is why I recommend taking leaves very often.
So it's like a recharge. A holiday is like a recharge.
It is.
As per our expert, Anika.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Anika. We're going to discuss a lot of things on today's show, and the biggest story that happened yesterday in the evening, Huda Katan and Mona Katan, the sisters who are behind Huda Beauty, I think it's the biggest brand which came out of Middle East, the beauty brand,
Yes.
If we talk about the category. They've separated. They've become two different companies. So we'll talk about the technicalities. Apart from that, we're going to talk about Egypt and Mohammed Al Abbar, Emaar Properties, investing 7 billion more into Egypt. So that's a good sign for Egypt, whose economy is not doing really great. They're not at par with UAE and Saudi Arabia, but they're doing good. Mm-hmm. So that's 7 billion more added to their economy over the next 3 years. We're going to talk about that. Apart from that, we have two special guests today. There's a startup in Dubai, which is GetProp. You would be guessing by the name that it's a property startup. It's an app which helps you buy properties, and it's powered by AI. So we'll talk to them in the show, and we'll find out what's happening. So let's start with the very first story. Huda Katan and Mona Katan, in a very long 7.5-minute video on Instagram, they both talked to everyone. And the funny thing about the video was, apart from the whole thing that they explained that why are they separating and everything, they started with crying and everything, a little dramatic.
They started crying?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I haven't seen
They were like crying and using tissues. But the good thing was that they said that all the people, all their PR, marketing, advertising, every person told them not to do it like this, not to do it on a video. And they were like, we're rebels. We're not going to go to the press and go to Bloomberg or Smashy Business or anyone and break the news. We'll do it ourselves, talking to the community that they've created. It's a very community-oriented brand.
Yeah.
So they're like, we will talk about this right on video to the people who actually made Huda Beauty and Kayali the brands that they are.
I think it's very interesting. They've been such a family-oriented brand because Huda Beauty itself started out with a $6,000 investment from her sister Alia Katan, and then they built this whole empire. And then Mona joins in with Kayali, with the perfume line Kayali, and now they're splitting. No, just splitting, and that's very interesting.
The main thing that is the technical part of it is that Huda Beauty had some of the shares that they sold to TSG Consumer Partners.
Yes.
So, and somehow they were owners. So Huda Katan, what I have realized from the whole technical details is that Huda Katan wanted the brand back, completely owned by herself.
Yes.
So she sold Kayali, and Kayali, the share that Huda Beauty held in it, is now with General Atlantic.
Yep.
So Mona Katan, General Atlantic, now they have a separate company which owns Kayali.
Yes.
And the money that will come through this deal, Huda Katan and Huda Beauty will use that money to buy back the Huda Beauty brand from TSG consumer parties. That's the boring part about it.
That's
But the interesting part is that now I think, Anika, and I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, both brands now have more space to grow. Because
Yeah, they do.
together they were like stuck together.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, you always associate the two together, and I mean, it's a good move to create an image of your own.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I feel like I was just reading something.
We were talking about it. This is the
Yes.
important part. Have you used the Kayali perfume?
I have. I've used a vanilla scent that Kayali
Ah.
has. I got it as a gift from Casey, actually.
Oh, nice. So,
Yeah.
Casey, our Love in Dubai show host and the head of Love in Dubai. And Love in the brand all over. But does it last? Like, do you wash your clothes and does it last, like, even after that? Does it?
No, it does not last,
Oh.
in my opinion.
Okay.
Or I don't know, maybe I use very strong detergent. I don't know.
But price-wise?
Price-wise, I'm not really sure, but from what I'm seeing, like a bottle could cost you anywhere, set you aside anywhere from 125 dirhams to 410 to 500, depending on like what you're buying, where you're sitting.
So the most expensive, a very quick Google search if you do Kayali, the most expensive that I see is 553. That's Vanilla 28, one of their brands, and Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42. I have zero idea what this means for the name, and does it say anything about the scent itself? Maybe it does, but 420, 180. So they have like mid-range also, 300-ish, 200-ish, 125, and then like the top end 550 as well. So it's
Something for every brand, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to do now. And like, do you think the prices are going to change?
The important thing is that as they separate, the people will sooner or later realize that they're not part of Huda Beauty anymore. So I think they will launch a new collection to just mark the event that, oh, now we're a separate brand, we're launching new products, new fragrances. But the pricing will be a very important factor, how they price it. Because now General Atlantic, one of the big companies, whenever they move into a brand, obviously they say that, oh, we're coming in, we've put in money, now give us something back in return.
Yeah.
And that's money. It's a very basic money thing. I'm investing, I want something back. So prices may shift a little. That we'll see, obviously, as soon as the whole thing legally and paperwork is carried out, everything happens, we'll finally know it. But I think the prices will go up, or maybe they'll launch an elite high-class brand which will be rated around 1200, 1500-ish range, just to cover for the cost of like the whole thing. So yeah, that's.
But it's also interesting. It throws light on what you think about family businesses and working with family. These are two sisters who started out and they kind of built with each other's support, and now they're kind of separating. But
crying when separating,
crying
using tissues and everything. It was a
why
whole
are you so
Dubai
offended by
blame.
them crying?
No, I'm just not offended. It's just the whole thing. It's one of the newest moves that I've seen in the PR marketing agencies. Everyone uses a different tactic strategy. What I've seen, brands usually prefer to go to a very big publication and then they do a whole interview and everything. And that is how they break the news. These guys, they're like, no. So this new idea, I think it's one for the books. People will be like, okay, they're the brands. We don't need to put a name Bloomberg on breaking the news or something else. We just need the brand, the people associated with the brand to come and break the news.
Yeah, I mean, I think this approach works for them because, like Huda Beauty, for example, she started out with a blog of her own, and then from there she built it up. So she built her own personality. She built a brand as herself, being a makeup artist, and then became a brand, and then started out. And then Mona Katan just I'm not sure how she came up.
I just think she joined the business.
She joined in, and people knew her, and she was in PR before, and then after she joined in with her fragrance line. So yeah, it's just they were a brand of their own, and they were known as like the Katan sisters, and now that they're still the Katan sisters, of course, but they're separate brands. It's very interesting. To what point? To what point do you work with your family, and at what point do you decide that we need to now branch out?
Family businesses are complicated. If you look at the history of the biggest family businesses, there's always been a skirmish or like a small fight between someone in the third or fourth generation, and usually the businesses separate.
We have
But this,
companies like Daman.
if even if there was like a very small hint of something happening, like them not understanding the finances, or someone, Kayali, being like, oh sorry, I'm not getting enough money, or like Huda saying, no, I want more money. If even there was a hint, they're always happy together. I've never seen them fight, not even on the Dubai Bling, I guess. But if even there was a hint, this is a good move, because now it separates everything: the company, the finances, the main things that we fight over. So I think it's good for their family, and it's good for the brands as well. Where will Huda Beauty go from this? I don't think the questions will be more about Huda Beauty.
Yeah,
Everyone will,
she's been an established brand. Huda Beauty is like, everyone loves the products. Started off with like fake lashes, and now it's everything.
It has everything fake. No. Sorry, fake eyelashes. Have you used them?
No.
How much do they cost?
I'm
It's
not
just
sure.
for people who are listening, who are like in my gender, males, who have never bought anything.
Men use fake eyelashes.
Oh yeah, but not everyone. Like the majority doesn't. But I guess a whole gift pack, if you want to buy it for your wife or girlfriend, it will cost you around 1,500-ish, 2,000. The bases, the foundations. I know the names. I don't know what they do, but lipsticks and all that. Like, it will be a good gift. Huda Beauty is a good gift. Do you think? If I give it to someone.
And you're asking me this because?
I'm just asking you.
Do your research.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a good gift. So my wife loves it. That is why I think it's a good gift. But one more point that we talked about before the show. Do you think their prices, Kayali in fragrances and Huda Beauty in the beauty and cosmetic category, are they at par with the like elite brands, or are they like affordable, like in the mid tier, not like very cheap?
I think they are affordable. A lot of it's like, I'm just looking through her website right now. It's like 190, no prices that are
Too
kind of
extravagant.
scarring me or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I can buy them even on like a bad day.
Yeah.
So-
The quick Google search that I did also on this, they seem affordable. Yeah, obviously, if you go for the premier products that every brand has to an extent, obviously you pay more. But for the normal everyday use, they are very affordable brands, and they're making money. They're happy with the businesses. So that is one thing that has happened in the business news. Apart from that, let's move to property, and we'll continue with property till the end of the show because we have guests, as I told you. So Emaar, which is founded and run by Mohammed Al-Abbar, one of the billionaires of Dubai, one of the greatest business people that I know in this country. They are investing 7 billion more in Egypt. That's the main story, and I think apart from them investing in Egypt, the idea is that the money is going into Egypt. Everyone is investing in Egypt because they still think that Egypt is a good place to invest and get returns.
It has more to do with their location.
Yeah.
So Alabar stated that it's about Cairo having around 70 million tourists annually, and I mean 15 million right now, but he wants it to go up to around 70 million tourists because of their coastline, and they have such vast tourism potential. So it's very important. It's very interesting that they're investing into it because he's very much like Dubai, seeing a vision for it and putting money there before anybody else can come in. And it's not the first time I've seen. If I'm not wrong, last year or so, we saw even Sheikh Mohammed, the president of the UAE, was in Egypt.
Yeah.
He was doing his rounds there. So I know that the UAE is actively looking at Egypt as an investment potential. There is a lot that the country has to offer, and especially places like Cairo and Alexandria, and I forgot the new and upcoming, I think near the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Near the Red
The
Sea.
main thing that I've seen is they're trying to build a new Cairo. They're trying to build an area which looks like a new Cairo. Obviously, they want to preserve the cultural part of it, like in Dubai, in Jeddah, in Riyadh, in the bigger cities, if you talk about it. You always see a cultural hub where you go and it's the same old buildings, right?
Exactly,
But then you go to the downtown of Dubai and you're like, okay, this is something new.
A city that can do both.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
the main idea.
It's very nice that they're looking to it, and it's even more nice because it's a season of, you know, the wealthier Middle Eastern countries putting money into like countries that are not as well, because as a whole we want the Middle East to grow and develop. For some reason I'm thinking about Al Habtoor taking back his investments from Lebanon.
That he said that he got so many death threats and so much, like the people were like, we'll kill you and they do very bad things to you. That is the reason he gave to Reuters. But reports suggest that Lebanon is not ripe for investment right now. Obviously, they're going through, again, a currency crisis, an economic crisis, a political crisis, all the crises that are possible there. But there is chances of recovery because Kingdom Holding CEO, the Prince Al Walid bin Talal, another businessman that I admire in the region, he said that he is going to refurbish the Four Seasons and reopen it in Lebanon. So there's Khalaf Al Habtoor at one point, pulling out, one guy going in. So it shows that Middle East, the most important part is the Middle Eastern superpowers, which is UAE, Saudi, to an extent Egypt, they are looking at other countries because they want the whole region to develop. They don't just want to stay in their like borders and be like, okay, UAE is doing good, Saudi. They want to make the whole region prosperous.
Are there any investments coming up in Syria? Do we know any?
Syria, there's this one news that we did yesterday. It's not investment, it's kind of like aid and help in recovery efforts. Middle Eastern countries, so Saudi Arabia hosted this event. The IMF was there, and other global major financial institutions, World Bank, etc. They came and sat together for a meeting in Al Ula on Sunday. And the idea mainly is that now they'll pick one country and step by step, country by country, they'll rebuild every Middle Eastern country. And it's a nice step coming, and with the help of IMF, World Bank, big institutions coming in, and then countries also participating, Saudi, UAE. So that is one step that is being taken. So they're starting with Syria. That's the good part, that they're starting with Syria. So as soon as they start with Syria, obviously they'll go to other countries as well. And we'll see the whole Middle East become the Europe, which is promised by His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince right now of Saudi Arabia. So these are the stories for today. Thank you very much, Anika, for joining me today. It's always good to have you, your insights on things.
Thank you.
And now we're going to take a break, just like one maximum 1.5 minute break. And we'll be joined by two people from GetProp, the CEO and Chief Strategy Officer. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Bye-bye.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Smash Business Show. We have with us two very special people today. They're special more because they're from Pakistan as well. I'm from Pakistan, so I like people when they're doing good stuff from my country in Dubai. We have Zaid Siddharth. He's the co-founder and CEO of GetProp. Apart from him, we have Saad Siddharth. He's also a co-founder and he's the Chief Strategy Officer. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much.
How have you guys been? Did you guys see any traffic on the way? Everything was fine. You reached early.
Early, yeah, because we were actually afraid of the traffic here in Dubai, especially in the morning. So,
but unfortunately, there wasn't any traffic. So
So fortunately and unfortunately, Thank you so much for joining us today. I have the whole GetProp intro in front of me, but what I like is listening it from the founders itself. What is GetProp? You started in 2024. It's a very new AI-powered platform that you're building and you've built and you're marketing it. What is GetProp in a nutshell? What does it do? For me, for a person who is just into buying or renting or anything related to property, what does it do for me?
So basically, GetProp is a next generation property listing platform. And the main focus is it is designed for an ease of searching properties for the buyers, sellers, and renters. So in short, it's connecting the investors and the buyers with the perfect property according to their likes with the use of AI.
So anything to add? Or he gave the perfect
He
pitch?
actually was spot on. He was actually spot
Perfect
on.
elevator pitch.
And then, if I actually have to add, the most important thing is because we actually have been investors ourselves. So we actually knew exactly the pain points that we actually had to go through in order to find the perfect property for ourselves. Especially because we live here in Dubai, to rent the property as a tenant as well as an investor as well. So we knew exactly what features were missing in like other platforms out there. And then we actually coupled everything, and then we actually build our own platform. And of course, continuous improvement is part of the process.
So if I'm a buyer, first-time buyer, I go to your platform. I'm looking for a property, but I have no idea what to do, where to look. What is the process like? If I go to the platform, what do I do? Like
Right.
I sign in, log in, make an account, or just ask the AI agent there or something. What do I do?
All right. So basically, when you go to getprop.au or you download the app, and if you are clueless what you're actually looking for, because when you're looking for property, you basically are like, okay, should I go for a townhouse? I mean, where exactly do I need to have the property? So this is exactly what we have done with our platform, that we have actually added features where we actually let you engage with the platform in a way where you can actually ask your best friend, GetProp GPT, that, okay, you actually want a 2-bedroom apartment, with two bathrooms, blah, blah, blah. And then, the GPT will actually tell you what exactly are the properties there. And then once you have actually inserted your wish list, then it keeps on prompting you that, we have new properties according to what you have actually inserted before. And that's how you actually, instead of looking at one property, you have multiple options, which actually gives you a seamless experience. And then, of course, if you're married, ladies really want to have a visualization of how the property is actually going to look if you put a certain kind of furniture in the living room or bedroom. So we actually have the redesign feature where you can actually put multiple styles into your home that, okay, so if I actually get this property, this is actually an empty house, so how will my bedroom look like? So it actually allows you to stay on the platform for a longer period of time, and that's how, the broker and the clientele, they're actually, integrating very well.
So it's like basically either the AI can actually show you how the place can look like, or you can just simply take a picture of any furniture and drag and drop it on that photo frame and see how that would look. And as far as a buyer is concerned, and if he doesn't have any clue where to buy, so you can actually ask the Chat GPT, our AI feature, with what are you actually looking for? Like, are you a family? Do you have kids? Or do you go to university, or are you where do you want the property to be? So actually, it would give you the complete explanation about the community, and it would show you the properties in that community itself.
So what I realize is there is a core problem right now that you go to a lot of property platforms, which I go to where I'm renting or something, or buying maybe. It's Property Finder, Bayou, the big guys. And recently, the Mac Hills, the Mac Properties, the daughter of Hussain Sajwani, Amira Sajwani, she started a prop tech startup also. Everyone is coming into this because everyone knows that Dubai property is the next big thing, and it's still the big thing. How does your platform beat them? Where is the USP? What is the unique selling point? I think AI is one of the things that I've realized from the conversation. But is there anything else that you think will drive traffic from those big platforms, the famous names, towards you?
All right. So basically what we have actually done, and based on our experience, because we have been into online businesses since the last decade. So there are two aspects to it. One is the broker, who's actually coming onto our platform to list their property inventory. Now, for them, of course, if you look at our competitors, the overall look and feel of the platform is almost the same as the other two big ones, okay? But the thing is, the actual magic is actually happening behind the scenes, because what the brokers are concerned with is not how our platform is actually looking, it's what kind of leads we are actually generating. Okay, so the kind of advertisements that we are doing, the kind of ad technologies that we are using is the same that we actually have been using in our other online businesses, because we were into online trading business. So we know exactly what kind of traffic they need and how to get that. As for the end traffic, the end users who are actually looking for the properties, we have what we have built is, and which is actually our core value is we want to engage with them at every step of their buying or renting journey. So that's why we have been adding, we have property monitors where, the person can actually have detailed view of Dubai real estate market before making any business decision. And one of them was also the design feature. So we actually want to keep on adding such features which customers can actually use and in order to make a better decision for their property.
So the whole process of buying or renting a property shouldn't be confusing. It needs to be more fun, because because people are attached to the properties and like, you know, so it's not like something like you just go and buy. They take their time. So we want them to actually compare properties, see how it can actually look like if it is furnished, and then actually make an informed decision along with the market insights.
And I think there's an emotional value attached to the
Yes,
very
exactly.
first
Sentiments.
home that you buy,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Renting, I think you live here for 2-3 years, you go to another place, you never have the emotional attachment. With buying, you need an emotional
100%.
experience.
Even like the
Yeah.
tenants, like they would actually end up buying a property. If not now, then maybe a couple of years down the road, because Dubai is all about buying properties and like, you know, it's just, it's an upward trend.
And as the rentals are actually like going up, everybody's actually moving towards,
Yes.
but every tenant is actually technically a future owner of
Oh,
it.
yes.
Tell me about the rents.
Yeah.
but,
Buying property is becoming easier and easier here. It's not
Yeah.
complicated process. It's a very straightforward process.
Yeah, I was. We recently also interviewed Kabir Joshi. He's one of the heads of Vantage Properties, and I remember he also said that as a builder point of view, he was from a builder point of view. He said very clearly that people want to buy properties. It's just the process that scares them.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes they're like, okay, maybe we don't want to get duped in the process, or maybe the agent takes too much money from us, which is not like legal. So that is and I think this is what the pain point was. This is what I have realized from this whole conversation, that first, lead generation.
Yeah.
If I have a property, I want to rent it out or sell it, I want to have a place which I can trust. And you're building that kind of
Exactly. So basically, like, you know, the whole roadmap of GetProp is we want to be a one-stop shop for the brokers, for the developers, for the end customer. That whenever somebody talks about property in UAE, and even like international investors abroad as well, that if they talk about property about Dubai, it's GetProp. Because we actually want to provide each and every information that we can possibly can, like, you know, by integrating to other, like, you know, various government services, so that you don't have to look for other places or Google, like, you know, to find what information that you're looking for.
Okay. Expansion plans. That's the most important thing for any company. You're UAE based right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, or this
UAE, the whole of UAE.
whole,
So
with
we
Emirates.
basically want to be a homegrown brand. Okay,
Yes.
we technically just want to focus in UAE, which includes all the 7 states, and of course, we want to grow in GCC first, and then maybe in the western part of the world.
Yeah.
But the second lucrative market that we actually think as of right now is Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And
For
so,
sure.
so inshallah.
Yeah, everyone was like, everyone come to Dubai,
Yeah.
Habibi come to Dubai. Now everyone is like, Habibi come to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
And
yeah.
with the plans that they have, I remember we did this story about them. 1/10 of the steel used in the world right now is going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a big amount, and the
Absolutely.
construction is humongous. Their projects are giga projects.
Sure,
Every
sure.
project is a giga project.
And plus, like, you know what, I'm actually going to commend the UAE government, the Saudi government, the way the drastic measures that they're actually taking. So population is actually increasing in both the countries.
Yeah.
Okay, and like FDI is actually coming. There are more people coming in. That means, and the supply is less. So the supply will actually increase, and people would actually want to buy properties, and they wouldn't know where to get the information for. And that is actually where GetProp is actually going to play a very vital point.
Tell me about AI. Why did you think of it? Like, did you think of it because it's the cool thing? Obviously, you see everything that you talk about is somehow now supported by AI. But did you think of it as a utility, or just because you thought it can be a good USP?
Okay, number
because
one-
this is a very complicated balance right now for
Yeah.
every startup. You go to a sustainability startup, they'll be like, we're using AI. Okay. You go to a fintech startup,
Yeah.
we're using AI. But is it a USP, or you think it has like a good 50-60% utility in the platform?
Okay, so firstly, it is very cool actually. Okay.
AI is cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, the beauty about AI is if you have AI in your products or anything, like, because nowadays even real estate brokers, they're actually doing AI agents. Like when somebody's calling you, it's an AI, it's not a human, but although it has a human voice, it actually removes the emotion from the entire journey. So basically, it's all about machine learning. Although AI was there like maybe 50 years ago as well, but it was not termed as AI. It was machine learning. This has been used on Wall Street, since the last many, many years. But now they have given it a cool name, artificial intelligence. Yes. So basically, the main core thing about AI is it just removes the emotion and gives you data-driven decision-making variables, which you actually evaluate to take your decisions. Simple. And which should be incorporated, I think, and people who are not really, getting AI into their businesses, I think they will be left behind eventually.
Yeah, I saw an interesting number recently. It was a global survey, but 49% of the prop tech companies, the prop tech startups and the established companies, the real estate companies, they are like that AI has saved us a lot of cost.
Yes.
And when I see a real estate company, I see that AI is useful in terms of agents.
Yes.
Recently, there was this company which Arabian Business did a news on them that they made 1.5 million from an AI agent. So they created a whole aura around her. Then they put her on an Instagram profile.
Yeah.
She has 100K followers.
Absolutely.
And she can speak like 25 different languages when you talk to her on their platform. And I was like, she did 1.5 million dirhams of sales. That's great.
True.
And that's one agent. Imagine you have different agents.
Exactly.
You plug them into social media. Be like, okay,
And
make a persona.
And you know what? Basically, people say that, okay, you know what? AI is actually going to replace jobs. It's a very wrong way of thinking.
Yeah.
I would say, it's just my suggestion, of course, my opinion. AI is only going to replace those people who are not learning about AI. So if you are in your university or if you're taking additional courses for AI, you will always be on the job because technically it's like Google 30 years ago, where if you're going to put a question and then it will give you an answer. But if you don't know how to ask the question, you will never get the right answer. So the prompt, so you need to have the knowledge how to write the prompt for the AI in order to get the actual results.
This thing about question, there's like a lot of argument. There's a religious argument, Islamic argument that there's a hadith by the Prophet that says that half of the ilm, half of the knowledge is asking the right question.
Exactly.
Then you go to Plato and Aristotle, you read their dialogues, the question part is very important.
Yeah.
They also say that nearly all of the knowledge comes from a good question.
Exactly.
So that is why they used to have dialogues where one will ask a question and the other will ponder over it and then answer. So it's a very good thing you've related to prompts.
Yeah.
That AI even, if you write a good prompt, you know what to ask.
Exactly.
The answer will be very nice, very perfect.
100%.
You'll get everything.
So AI is basically making lives easier for people. Like most of the people who don't even know, like how we were talking about earlier, that if in terms of our listing portal, if a buyer doesn't know what they actually want, so in just a few pointers, if they write it down, they can actually see so this might be suitable for me. So it's making lives easier.
So it's actually helping them understand what they want as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's conclude it. Let's summarize it. Where do you see yourself in the next 2-3 years? Because you said Saudi Arabia, Saudi Vision 2030, then Riyadh Expo. That's the big thing that's happening in the region. Dubai itself is investing so much into property. Dubai, then Abu Dhabi. Recently, the last year numbers I saw for Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah is getting a casino, so it's growing very big. Yeah. Their property numbers are increasing day by day. You have focus on Dubai. Obviously, everyone has focus on Dubai. Everyone has Abu Dhabi focus. What is your plan for the other Emirates? Do you think you'll see more people coming from there as well?
Yes.
And overall, the brand, where do you see yourself in the next 2-3 years?
So basically, as of right now, we are only focusing on UAE, as we have stated. We really want to be one of So right now we have 2 big competitors, and we value them a lot, because we have done our searching on their portal as well. But we know for sure that the kind of service that we're actually bringing out there and the kind of product that we are building will surely be on people's minds very, very soon. Although we have just started, properly in the beginning of the year. So I feel that by end of first quarter of 2025, people would actually start saying, okay, you know what, let's start searching on GetProp as well. And that is actually what we are targeting as of right now. Although we do know that in order to reach our competitors who have been in the markets in the last almost 2 decades, it will take some time, but we will surely get there. As far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, of course, that is actually on our radar. But I would say at least after 2 years, once we have gotten good grasp of the UAE market, and apart from UAE and Abu Dhabi, definitely for sure, Ajman is actually growing. Ras Al Khaimah is growing. Sharjah is also growing. So I personally feel that what we are currently focusing on is to build an inventory of properties on our platform, because of course we are new, so we need to have the meat, in order for our customers to be able to browse through the platform with ease. So yeah, and of course the end traffic generation is also.
In terms of AI, do you think the model that you have right now, would you make it better? Are you planning it?
Oh,
or
yes,
like
of
add
course.
more features?
Of course. So on a daily basis, we are working on this feature of our AI and making it much more better to answer as accurate information as possible. So it's a work that would never stop. It's just gonna keep on going on and going on and going on. And what our plan for the next 3 years is to have the largest database of properties in the UAE, and I'm sure we can achieve that.
Thank you so much. Whenever we talk about startups, there's this one thing, and it happened today as well. Elon Musk launched Grok 3.
Yeah, I was about to touch
I
upon
was
that.
looking at the live feed. They went on about for 1 hour. He sat with 3 of his main developers and programmers, and the numbers that they've shown, and then the industry experts were commenting on it. It started late. It started after OpenAI. Everyone says ChatGPT right now, but it has better numbers. So there is always room for disruption.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
And what I see with GetProp, there is room for disruption in the market.
100%.
Established players, I think they become a little, they don't go towards more innovation. They become very stable and very slow. But new entrants like you, I think they would do great.
Absolutely.
And hope
It's
you
a complete
best of luck.
universe.
Thank
It's like
you.
a complete universe, and you just gotta find your way and excel.
So best of luck for your disruption plans. You have a third co-founder, right?
Yes.
He's not here today.
He's
You
not
can
here
give a
today.
shout out to him. I would love for you to give a shout out to him as well.
Well, you start off.
All right. So basically, he is Osama. He's
Yeah.
our co-founder and our COO. And the product, actually, he has been very much focused on developing the product. So yeah, I wish he was here, but hopefully next time, for sure.
We miss you,
Next time
Osama.
for sure. We miss you, Osama. Thank you so much for joining us on the Smashy Business Show. We'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday, inshallah. And till then, take care. And we have 1.34 listeners on the 1.34 million listeners on our Augustus Media Podcast Network. Smashy Business Show is just one part of it. If you want to know about sports, we have a Smashy Sports Show, which happens on Monday and Friday, and we have the Love in Dubai show every day at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. If you want to listen to anything related to those, you can join there. Thank you very much for listening. If you're one of the 1.34 million people, we love you, and thank you for listening. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you.